Greetings, Earthlings, San Diegans, Californians, and everybody else. We are here once again on Wednesday at 3 p.m. Pacific time, which means it is time for the San Diego Brewers Guild Happy Hour at Home. With me, Beth Demmon, local beer journalist and writer. We have been doing this for something like 24 plus weeks, so hopefully you guys kind of know what the deal is and what's going on. We always have on 4 guests in the craft beer community, sometimes outside of San Diego, but focusing inside of San Diego. And this week is no exception. We've got 4 superstars that I'm super looking forward to talking to. We are going to kick things off with Vista's own Dogleg Brewing Company, and then we are going to hop over to Booze Brothers, also up that way, and talk about some distribution news as well as their anniversary and a couple other, whatever else comes to mind. Then our third slot is going to be with Kristine from the Women's Beer Collective. Always love talking to her. Haven't run into her like we normally would. Back when we had events. So looking forward to checking in and seeing what she and the collective are up to. And then we are going to wrap things up with San Diego's own White Labs. I don't know what we're going to talk. We're going to talk about an event that they've got coming up, as well as maybe we'll get real sciencey. I don't even know. I think we've had them on here before, but I always love to check in with the folks over at White Labs. But before further ado, I also appreciate everybody. I look a little bit crazy today because I don't know if you heard, but playgrounds in San Diego are open. So I have been spending my day hand sanitizing between slides and swings, and I am just a little bit fried from being in the sun with the very last gasp of this disgustingly hot weather we've had. So I am going to cool off with a little Tiny Bubbles. I know I drank it last week, but 2 reasons. So I'm busting it out again this week. 1, today's Tommy Arthur's birthday. So happy birthday, Tommy. We're drinking this in homage of you, to you. But also I picked up, I know I also talked about this last week, a couple of packs of the Banksy ESB from Burning Beard, which is one of my absolute just favorite beers of all time. And I mean, more people, just if you're listening, please make more ESBs. But I only have 1 of those left because I've been drinking them like crazy, and I had 2 of these left. So I was like, well, I'd like to sit down and enjoy it with a meal, perhaps. So I think I will save it. Plus, this is 4.8%, and that is 6%. So I was like, let's just keep it cool for 3 p.m. And also, it's delicious. It's genuinely super duper good. So I really recommend trying out Tiny Bubbles. Also, just if you are superstitious or just a little stitious, the Slam Diego is their version with key lime. And I gave one to my neighbor when the Padres were down by a buttload last week. And he genuinely asked me, he was like, is this going to help us come back? And I was like, oh yeah, it totally is. And they did, and won the game. So you heard it here first. Tiny Bubbles, Slam Diego. It helps the Padres. So go pick up a couple of 4-packs because it sounds like the Padres are kind of on fire right now. So anyway, just something to think about. But what am I doing? I haven't even cracked my beer yet. This is ridiculous. Woo! It splashed all over me, but that's okay. Been there. So Tiny Bubbles. And please do, if you guys want to chime in with what you're drinking or, what you're looking forward to drinking or whatever, this is totally interactive. I love seeing what everybody else is doing. So, but a little bit of news before we hop over to our guests. Congratulations to Pure Project. They were named one of the best places to work in San Diego by the San Diego Business Journal, which is, I think, super cool. I think they were the only brewery that was named. And I have worked at places that are like, oh, best places to work. And sometimes it's just like a weird popularity contest, or they have super bizarre culture perks that aren't really perks because they don't actually pay you very well. But I know for a fact that Pure Project is dope AF, and they definitely are one of the best places to work. So huge congratulations to them. And then in other news, the San Diego International Beer Fest, the winners were announced yesterday. So congratulations to everybody who took home some hardware. If you are looking for the full list of winners, please go to sandiegobeer.news for the full list, sandiegobeer.news. And yeah, a special congrats to Ruler, who took home the Best in Show. So that's awesome. Good for you guys. And then, yeah, speaking of SD Beer news, it sounds like Resident Brewing is in talks to take over the old Iron Fist location up in Vista. And story on the street, aka story on the plexus, is that it's not a totally done deal, but it is, I guess, pretty much hopefully a done deal. So yeah, San Diego Beer.news for more on that developing story, because I know that there are plenty of people in Vista who are going to be excited about Resident moving up that way. I personally am excited to hear that Epig is going to at least temporarily take over the old Waypoint Public spot on North Parkway and 30th Street. I mean, that spot is just awesome, and that would be perfect for a satellite tasting room, even temporarily. So North Park, I mean, that's awesome. I don't personally think North Park needs any more breweries. Why don't you head out east on the 8? You don't even have to go that far, like College area. Just throw me a bone here, people. Just something to think about. But also, yeah, I mean, speaking of places that don't have a ton of breweries, if you do live in National City, this is just my own personal endorsement, not the Brewers Guild endorsement, but Beth Demmon's endorsement. Dr. Q, Gonzalo Quintero, who is, obviously well known in the San Diego craft beer scene, he is running to be on the National City Council. So please do consider voting for him, because he's awesome and a friend and to beer and a beer lover. And, he's got Tavern at the Vogue and La Bella Pizzeria, and he's just a really, a stalwart figure in San Diego beer, if you will. So please do check that out if you are a voting resident in National City. But moving right along, this is, the San Diego Brewers Guild. So if you have questions, comments, or need information or resources that the Guild can assist you with, please do go to sdbeer.com. That is the Guild website. There's tons on there. There's resources, newsletters, merch, masks, t-shirts, everything that you can buy to help support the Brewers Guild and our initiatives towards the San Diego beer community as a whole are greatly appreciated. So if you have any questions about anything, please do email info@sdbeer.com, and the Brewers Guild will take care of you for sure. So before too far along, I hope everybody is, cheersing with me on this beautiful, or at least getting beautiful Wednesday. This is interactive, so when I bring the guests on, they are for 10 minutes at a time, give or take. Remember, you can comment, ask questions, tell us what you're drinking, tell us what you're thinking. Like, just get in there and we'll see what's going on in the community and stuff like that. So feel free to, comment box or anything like that. It is easier if you just leave a comment and you don't ask a question using the little, question mark box, because then I've got to, click on it and it's a whole other thing. So just comment and let us know what you are vibing with. But it looks like I am going to be about 1 minute early, and I'm going to bring Dogleg on. See, Dogleg, this is exactly why I said be on at least a couple minutes early, because I'm good, but I'm not to the second. But you know what? People don't want to hear me monologue. They're here to talk to you guys. So let's bring Dogleg on and see what's up in North County today, right now. So good. 4.8% ABV. I just love it so much. So I think, connecting. Hi.
Hey, what's up?
I'm chilling. I'm just vibing. How you doing today?
Dude, I'm so pumped about this. I've never done this before. It's like,
well, I hope I gave you good directions, because I feel like it took me something like 15 weeks, and I'm like, oh, I have to tell them don't be on a desktop because I can't add that. It took way longer for me to put all the pieces together. So you're fine.
This is so cool. I'm super new at this. I feel like a total newbie.
No,
this is super rad.
Well, why don't you do a quick intro of who you are and where you are?
Sure. My name's Kristine Lumsden. I'm one of the co-owners here at Dogleg Brewing Company. We've been open since November of last year, so great timing. No, just kidding. But it's been awesome. Obviously this year's been a challenge, but if anyone's not familiar with our brewery, kind of the genesis of our whole brewery is we all met through the game of golf. So there's definitely a golf kind of edge on our brewery, and the underlying theme of the names of our beers and our whole space here I could show you guys a little bit around. If
Yeah,
that's
let's do a little tour. That'd be great.
okay. Where's Jack? Say hi, Jack. And here's our space. So it's pretty wide open.
Good air.
Yeah, nice. Get a nice flow in here. So, so one of the cool, unique aspects about our brewery is we actually have a golf simulator where you can hit golf balls right in there. Yeah,
That's safer than like the axe throwing concept bar.
right. Yeah. And then that plaque is for our head brewer, Jim McCaskey, who's been part of the home brewing community in San Diego for like 2 decades at least.
Nice.
He was also a former commander in the Navy, so that's really cool.
Very cool.
So he also served our country. And then this is our pedigree. So that's a little bit of here at Dogleg. Yeah, so we do a lot of traditional beers. So, some of our flagship beers are ESB, which is an English style ale. I know you don't find them around a lot, San Diego.
You don't.
San Diego, yeah. So we're super pumped to have that one on. That one's like a staple here. Our Scotch ale, and then of course we have like a Belgian double that does really well. IPA, hazy IPA. We're about to come out with a session IPA. Where are we located? We're located in Vista. Should I be like answering some of these questions?
You can. Well, and that's great too, because I mean, you guys are kind of in a location where there's a whole bunch of breweries.
Yes.
In that little pocket. What's that like?
We're super spoiled up here. Honestly, it's awesome. So Epic is our neighbor, which is cool. So on our street we have Helia, Epic, and Dogleg. So what's cool is that like in that little pocket alone, you get like totally different style beers. You have like us, who has more traditional like red ales, Scotch ale, ESB, that kind of beer. Those kind of beers. Epic, obviously, their wheelhouse is German lagers. And up the street, you have Helia, which does a lot of like West Coast IPAs and pale ales and things like that. So it's kind of really just a fun little. I mean, you could just spend like one day on this street alone, which is a lot of fun. So, and then obviously we're super close, like Battle Mage, Booze Brothers. The list goes on, and it's a lot of fun. Obviously, the community is awesome, so we feel pretty spoiled for sure.
Oh yeah, I mean, I just remember driving up there for the first time, and I didn't realize really how close in proximity you were to everybody. And I mean, you absolutely nailed it. I was like, I stopped at Helia and I got their West Coast IPA, and I was like, damn, this is sick. Stopped at Epic, got the the Schwartz beer or whatever, and I'm just like, damn, this is epic.
Yeah.
And yeah, I mean, Scotch ales and stuff like that kind of, not German specific, but like old world European style, just classic stuff. It's just, it's not as prevalent. Cause I love a session IPA. I love a double IPA, whatever. Right. But sometimes I just want to, an ESB, I'll have that any day of the week. So, all right, I'm adding.
That's what I'm having right now.
Well, I'm adding you to the very short list of ESB breweries in San Diego, because there's anything less than like 40 I would be upset with, but I think we're less than like 4. So
what? Really?
I on a regular basis, I mean, who else does ESBs? Like you guys, Burning Beard?
Burning Beard.
Yeah.
I'm not sure who else.
Home Brewing, he does it every now and again, but they kind of keep things rotated. I mean, I don't even know. So I'm just like, ESBs, please. Yeah.
It's a lot of fun when people come into our brewery for the first time, especially, seasoned craft beer drinkers that just, they know their beers, and they come in, they're like, dude, you have an ESB. And we're like, yes, people are pumped.
Well, and so full disclosure, I have never played golf outside of like putt-putt or mini golf. I don't know what people say on the West Coast. Do you say putt-putt or mini golf?
That's a good question.
I don't know. I've said putt-putt. People didn't know what I was talking about. Yeah, putt-putt. But anyway, like a driving range, I've never been to a driving range, so I'm like, okay, I'm really feeling like a North County trip is due for me to just get my ESB fix, like have a fake driving range, just like swing away. That is sounding pretty solid.
Yeah, so the cool thing about our place is like we wanted to, because, we all grew up playing, like I played golf my whole life, and I've kind of seen all aspects of it where it can be kind of like stuffy and uptight, but I've also seen like when we moved out here, we started playing at some of these like local muni tracks where it's like flip-flops and like cut off t-shirts, and like they don't care, you know, it's like you're happy
Yeah.
more setting, and it's such a beautiful thing. So we wanted to make sure that that was kind of the vibe of this place. Like, honestly, we still get a ton of our customers who have never touched a club, and they're even in here for like a little bit, and it takes them a minute to be like, oh yeah, it's like golf themed. And I'm like, okay, you know, like I enjoy that because it's kind of like a slow introduction to like something that we're passionate about, that kind of brings craft beer and our passion and celebrates that. So and then people kind of want to dip their toe in the water and be like, ooh, let me try the simulator. And it's very
Yeah.
and frustrating after that.
Well, and I feel like, you know, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You were like, oh, there's, you know, golf can be very casual, very, very laid back, but it can also be kind of insular, kind of uptight. And I'm like, if that's not like a testament to the parallels of golf and craft beer, then like, I don't know what is, because that's the exact same, you know, like it can be super chill, but at the same time, there can be like a super undercurrent of like snottiness and exclusivity and stuff like that. So I love to hear that you guys are just like, just come in and like have a good time, have some good beer. Like, what else, you know, what else do you need in life?
That's
like
it. We're simple people, you know. Dogleg is in the title. We like golf, beer, and dogs. So if you like any one of those three, I mean, I feel like you'll fit in. You're a cat person, I don't know what to tell you. We don't have cat vibe here.
Cat people are wine people, so that's a whole other thing.
Good point. I never thought of it that way.
Yeah. And then like, what are spirits people? They're the ones that have like reptiles, maybe. Like they're
true. One of my best friends, she has a couple of tarantulas and a pet cockatiel, so that makes total sense, actually.
No, I don't care for that. Oh, I have a neighbor who has a parrot, and I have a neighbor who has a desert tortoise, and I'm just like, why do all of you crazy people have pets that live for like 100 years? What is wrong with you?
I wish dogs lived 100 years, but that's a whole nother conversation.
Yeah, I hear that. So, well, I mean, explain Dogleg to me. Like, what's the behind the name?
So it's a term in golf, which means like, so if you have like a hole, you know, like a par 4 or something, if it turns, it's a dog leg. So it actually like, it dog legs, just like a dog's leg kind of goes like, so it just kind of, it's like a curved shape. I'm just looking at some of these comments.
Yeah, we got people like putting together dates to go to the cat cafe.
I know, that's right down the street from here. I actually haven't been there yet, but
Chris and Ian, don't think you're getting there without me. That's for sure. That's bucket list. So I did try to go to a cat cafe when I visited Japan, and unfortunately it was closed. But I did get to go to the island that was filled with rabbits. So that
sounds amazing.
It was actually a little bit gross, because it was a tiny island that just was used to store chemical weapons after World War II. So it was like, it's fine. Like, it's fine. You don't have to go. But I feel like an island with all dogs, that would be.
Well, we are dog friendly, so that's a start.
There you go. That's definitely a start. So, okay. So you're in Vista. You've got great old world style beers. Where can people keep up with everything that is going on with Dogleg? Do you have a newsletter? Is social media best?
Yeah, we definitely post on social media every day. We have a lot of upcoming stuff. Obviously, we're trying. So we don't have a kitchen or anything. So we're one of the many breweries that are working with food trucks. As often as possible, which is great because, you know, we get to collaborate with a lot of other small local businesses like ourselves. So, so like tomorrow we have trivia night and we have tacos, and then Friday we have our fish taco guy who's like bomb. He's awesome. And then Saturday we have this all new pop-up food truck called Sticky Chicken, which if you haven't checked them out yet and you love chicken, I mean, they had us at Sticky Chicken. So so we're our Instagram, doglegbrewingco.com is our website, but I'd say social media is probably best. We do have a newsletter, so if they wanted to sign up for that, we can go to our website.
All right, that sounds good. Well, thank you so much for giving us a peek into Dogleg. It was great to have a little face-to-face, and good luck. I'll be up for that ESB soon.
Sounds good. Let me know when you're up.
All right, deal. Sounds good. Cheers.
All right, cheers. Thank you for having me on.
Of course. Thanks so much. So yeah, ESB, little virtual golf, and a visit to the cat cafe. Like, sign me up to go to Vista one of these days. So I love that. But we're gonna keep the fun, the good times going by bringing on the good folks over at Booze Brothers, who I think, yep, you requested. Oh my gosh, you guys are so on top of it today. I love it. We're nailing it. Cheers. Mm. What's up? Did we freeze right off the bat? Oh, there we go. It's that North County internet, man. I tell it's going. I'm doing great. What are you drinking today? Nope, we're good. Maybe we're good. I'm feeling good. Are you good? We're here. We're there. Can you hear
Generally good. I'm good right now.
me? Ooh, so yeah, another perfect option for a warm autumn day.
Yep, absolutely. Now, this is actually Good Guy Pale Ale is one of our longest running beers. And then we added some fresh grapefruit from Paige McWay's parents' grapefruit tree.
That's adorable.
Yeah, pretty cool. So, yeah, we use real grapefruit, no extracts. And this has actually been one of my favorite beers for a long time. So I'm stoked to see it kind of still in the mix for us.
Definitely. I gotta say, there are so many breweries who are doing like real local fruit infusions in their beers and stuff like that. And I'm just like, damn, like I knew that California had a good agricultural thing going on, but I'm just like, holy cow, there is a lot of fruit available. Like that is great.
Yeah, I mean, I think most people could attest this that you can tell the difference between real fruit and fake
Yeah.
ingredients. So not, talking down on anyone who uses the other stuff, but we kind of always just like to keep it with the real fruit. So
Totally.
it's been good. I like that other breweries do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. And I mean, there's scale issues involved and things like that. But well, I feel like we jumped the gun. People probably
Yep.
know who you are, but let's just pretend like they don't. If you want to do a quick
Okay.
intro.
Yeah, my name's Kristine. I'm from Booze Brothers Brewing Company and Owl Farm Unique Fermentations. We're out of Vista. We've been around we're about to hit our 7-year anniversary. And I'm also the president of the San Diego Brewers Guild for this year.
Yes, I love that. So
Yeah.
I feel like, what do you do after you are the president? Like, what's next? Do you get to be the emperor?
Yeah, I'm the emperor.
I mean,
Matt from Bergen is currently the emperor, but then I'll take over for that spot. So now I become president emeritus, and I kind of stick around as a guidance, if you will. Not that anybody in the guild really needs my guidance, but I'm just there to help transition any kind of decisions that get made and kind of lend some advice from what I've learned. I don't think many other presidents will go through the experience that I've been going through because of everything
yeah,
COVID related. It's really shaken up what we're doing at the guild, not in a negative way. We're going to pivot in a lot of directions. So I'm excited for what's probably going to come. It's just hard to pre-plan too much during these kind of times. So.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's okay to say it's a little negative. Like, it's been moderately to advanced level shitty, so like that's fine.
Yeah,
But
it's
at the
kind
same time,
of
I'm like,
sucks.
you guys wouldn't have let me do this live stream. So yeah,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Well,
Definitely.
so speaking, I mean, I'm gonna draw like a pretty huge thread between the whole grapefruit and like scaling thing to like, oh, scaling, distributing. What's
Yeah.
what's some news?
Yeah, we officially signed with Carl Strauss Distributing, and that started 2 days ago. Out to accounts. So Carl Strauss has taken over all of our distribution in San Diego, Orange County, LA, and the Inland Empire. So it's definitely scaling us up, hopefully.
Mm-hmm.
We were primarily doing San Diego, and we were touching base with a little bit of LA, but not much. It was more because of relationships we had with people already up there.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we are happy to have signed with them, and this whole thing started pre-COVID, and then we had to carbosh it because of COVID, and then we started talking about it again, and then we had to carbosh it again, and then they have seen some real success with their packaged product, and Chad brought it up, and he's like, "Hey, let's keep this going." So we decided to just go for it during all of this, and we're pretty excited. We're launching with some cool beers with them, and It's anything that helps get more beer out there right now is huge, because obviously our tasting room isn't moving as much beer. Our events aren't going on, which is a huge part of our business. So distribution was already kind of up, and packaged products has been huge for us. We own our own canning line, so that's been a huge help during all of this. But having somebody who can hopefully sell 3, 4, or 5 times as much beer for us will only be for the better.
Well, so does that mean that we can anticipate a tasting or, a brew system expansion, or were you already set to fulfill, a 3 or 4 time increase?
Yeah, so we started out as a 10-barrel brew house, and we scaled up to a 30-barrel brew house a while ago. We own the old Green Flash brew house / Latitude 33 brew house. When Latitude scaled up, we just bought their brew house for pennies on the dollar type deal. So really it's more tank space. So we just need more and more tanks. So probably a lot of 60-barrel fermenters, or not a lot, get a few of those. And then double brew into a lot of our 30-barrel fermenters right now, and hopefully just kind of keep up. Packaged product is a very different game than draft, just because we could send out a ton in 1 week and send out a ton the next week, because it all just gets swooped off the shelves, whereas draft typically sticks around a little bit longer for some people. So we're just trying to play it by ear, and we're not trying to get in over our heads, but we're pretty excited with it. And I think having somebody like Carl as a distributor who's also a brewer can give us a lot of expertise and advice and help, so that if we do get in over our heads, I think they'll be able to facilitate a lot for us.
Well, hopefully. So I was gonna type a comment to the commenter, what's so funny comedy. If you would like to set something up with any of the guests here, why don't you just shoot us an email at info@sdbeer.com, because I'm not sure that we're going to be able to address your specific question right this very second. So info@sdbeer.com, and we will be happy to facilitate setting you up with a venue. But back to you, Chris. Yeah, I mean, so your packaged stuff, you guys have really, you're very well known for the art that you do, both Owl Farm and Booze Brothers. I mean, I remember the first time I saw the can where it was your blonde ale with guava, and it was the lady that was super cosmic and stuff like that. I feel like you have a very recognizable brand. Can you hear me?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
We're good? Okay. Could you talk a little bit about your art and kind of how you've set yourself apart in the San Diego beer scene?
Yeah, so especially when we were getting into packaging, we reached out to a close friend of ours, Ben Horton. He comes from the skateboard world. Most people know him from the apparel brand Ruka, or RVCA. He's one of their main artists. And, we all have a background from skateboarding. He owns skateboard brands. And he did the first art show ever with our brewery. And we had asked him if he'd like to stay on as doing all of our packaged product. And he's become a really integral part of our business. And our whole angle was, we want our cans and our bottles to look as good as we think our beer tastes. I think our beer has grown tremendously since. And, when somebody's walking through a giant liquor store and there's 100 options and they might want something new, are they going to buy something that looks very engaging and prominently strong, or are they going to buy something that's a little bit more bland? We like to think they'll buy something that looks more intriguing. So yeah, we work really diligently with him. Our whole team kind of debates back and forth on beer names and artwork and what we can even get away with, because sometimes we have really great beer names, but they won't work for art. And that's something that's kind of become a huge naming aspect of our beer. Somebody might have absolute best name, and we'll say, if it's draft only, cool. But if it's for a can, how would you draw that? You referenced Spanish Caravan earlier, our dry hopped guava blonde. That was actually the most difficult can for us to create. Actually, 1 second.
All right, TikTok man, we only got 10 minutes.
I have 1 can of it left that you're referencing.
I just thought that was a very striking can. That's the one that has stuck out to me.
Yeah, that's actually it ended up being all of our favorite, but it was the hardest to come up. So the name is Spanish Caravan comes from a Doors song, but we didn't know how to draw anything, or Ben and I and everybody didn't have an idea for it. And then he eventually came up with that. And it uses galaxy hops, hence all of the galaxy in her face. So it was like, how do we tie it all together? And he kind of nailed it. He's a great artist for our team.
Well, as somebody with an art background, I wish we could talk about this all day, but really quick, like 30 seconds, talk to me about the anniversary and where people can keep up with everything Booze Brothers.
Oh, cool. So our 7-year anniversary is coming up on the October 23rd, 24th, 25th weekend. We just announced it the other day. We're going to do a 3-day event. It's going to be ticketed, a different event each day. We're going to release all those details on Monday on social media. But since we can't have a bunch of people packed into one space, we're going to spread it out over 3 days. So follow us on Instagram at Booze Bros. And for anything that you want to follow on Owl Farm, follow at Owl Farm Beer.
Sweet. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. I'm sure we will be in touch soon. And congratulations on the anniversary and Carl Strauss Distributing. I'm looking forward to seeing it spread throughout Southern California. You guys deserve it.
Thank you. Cheers.
Cheers. All right. That was Chris from Booze Brothers and Owl Farm and the Guild. So anyway, but we are going to keep things rolling with Kristine from the Women's Beer Collective. I'm going to add you right now. So just accept and we will start chatting. We're rolling with it today. Hi.
Hi, I'm so high. Whoops.
Oh, hey. No,
there we go. How are you?
I'm doing great. How are you doing today?
Good, very good. I have a little bit of a haze. Let's turn this way. There we go.
Oh, I know. Like I'm like in kind of a weird dark corner. I was just
no, it's not weird or dark at all. It's very bright and beautiful. I wanted to do something kind of similar, but it's not happening.
Welcome to my guest room, where my office is in the closet. It's great.
It's gorgeous. It's gorgeous. How are you? You're right. I haven't seen you in so long. It's like our social life has just really had a crimp in it lately.
I realized like this week that I like just talking to people, like having a phone call or an interview or something like that. I'm just like, I have genuinely lost like social skills. Like I am just like, I don't know how to talk to people anymore. Like my small talk is super weird. I'm just like, this is,
no,
I miss running into people.
It's not you at all. It's all of us. It's okay. We'll learn all those things back again.
I hope so. People will probably think I'm like such a huge weirdo, but I'm just like, and like you get out of practice. And so,
yeah,
but why don't you do a quick intro of who you are and what the Women's Beer Collective is?
Kristine Baker, Women's Craft Beer Collective, founder. I kind of run it all. Sometimes I like to pull people in to collaborate with me. It's just more fun that way. But yeah, and it's really been a rough year in that we haven't been able to get together and hold events and, you know, learn anything as a group or drink together. I mean, in some ways, it's forced me to sit down and design and do new products and all that. So I feel real good at where we're at right now as far as Beer Girl merch. We have a lot of things ready to go for Christmas, stocking stuffers and all that. And I'm drinking out of my one of my favorite new glassware, all beers, girl beer. This one, my friend Brittany from Craft Graphics, she helped me design the font and everything. But yeah, so
for sure, showing you love in the comments for sure.
Oh, yeah, I adore her. She's super talented.
Well, so you talked about merch, you talked about kind of community. Like, what would you say the goal is for the Women's Craft Beer Collective?
Well, I mean, originally it was always educational focus, but the last few years we've been, you know, doing all these fun like meetups, you know, just DIY stuff. And I remember a few years back you interviewed me and we were just kind of starting to take that direction down that path because, you know, we kind of learned that sometimes we just want to get together and have girl talk and, you know, and use our hands and be artistic and not necessarily like, you know, just learn beer. We just want to drink beer. So, so we missed that terribly. And I don't know how many months have been just I've accepted that, okay, we're just going to stay home and we're not going to do anything. And then I kind of thought, well, I think there's plenty of things that we can do and still be safe. I started a couple of months back just a very small group in Balboa Park as a meetup and a bottle share, and because you can do that in Balboa Park.
Yeah.
And so that's been a lot of fun. A small group, but still, very socially distanced. And but I think I'm going to take it a step further. And I have another beer girl helping me out with this. Allie and Callie is her Instagram. But we're going to collaborate on the 7 Bridges hike. And have you ever done that? Mm-hmm.
I've not done it, but I know very fit people who've done it. So that's cool.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, and I know I only have 10 minutes to talk, so I'm talking real fast.
Oh, that's great. You're great.
It's a 5.2 mile loop, and there's 7 bridges. And so it's basically going to be a tasting flight of 7 San Diego independent craft beers. We're not going to drink a whole can on every bridge, but we are going to have our own, reusable canister and drink out of that. And and so we're kind of hoping some breweries that might be listening right now might want to kind of sponsor for one of the bridges. And of course there'll be a lot of photos taken and a lot of Instagram exposure and all that. So so I think it'll be super fun. So we're thinking when it cools down a little bit, fall, perhaps say Sunday afternoon, and it's co-ed, so the guys and everything can come along. So.
If they must. I need to have somebody carry the cans because I'm not schlepping it.
No, I know. That's the thing. It's like we got to carry in probably like 7 4-packs depending on how many people. So yeah, they're gonna have to be on little ice and all that. So so I'm gonna text you and I'm gonna make you come on that one.
That sounds fun. I couldn't stand to get out of the house. God knows we all.
Well, we all do. And for those people that are feeling real nervous about it, we can still wear a mask. You can be spaced. So, I don't think I'll take any crap from anybody about it. It's just, we all need exercise and, we all need to drink some beer and go on a little hike. So hey, sounds like a good idea.
I like it. I said I went to the playground earlier today and kids are disgusting. So that ship has sailed for my health, but people who you've got a couple comments below, anybody who's interested about sponsorships, why don't you go ahead and just directly message Kristine at Beer Collective right here on Instagram. Her handle should be visible, so get in touch with her because when we once these go live, like on the Brewers Guild just feed, it doesn't show the comments, so she won't be able to go back. So if you are interested, email her.
Yeah, please, because there's no charge. So, that's a lot of beer for me to go out and buy. But I want to do it. So I think it'll be fun. And I have done that hike before and it's kind of cool. So
yeah,
absolutely.
So, I mean, you've talked about some of the positives that COVID has given you, like the clarity to, change some direction. We've talked about some negatives and things you had to overcome, but what are you anticipating for the rest of 2020 and beyond? I mean, how has your changed and how do you see it moving forward?
Well, I mean, it's going to take a little energy to plan this event. Can you hear me okay?
I hear you.
But I mean, I know like GABF weekend, I'm going to sit in front of the computer the whole entire time.
Yeah.
I just, I'm also going to focus on making sure everybody knows everything that's in our store. I still get messaged sometimes saying, oh, darn, I missed out on that Beer Smart tank top. And it's like, it's in the store. I'm never going to let that one, not be in stock. So just take a look. So yeah, just focusing on that. And
awesome.
Just that. I mean, before we know it, it's going to be January. So.
Well, and before we know it, it's going to be Christmas. People need some stocking stuffers. They need presents for themselves.
That's right. And I'm going to make sure everybody knows. And the only co-ed thing that I've managed to pull off so far is this little guy. I think it's adorable when I see guys send me pictures and they've got it on their belt loops. I
love that.
So I do try.
I love that. Well, what's the website and the social media handle that people can follow you?
The Instagram is Women's Beer Collective, and the website is Women's Craft Beer Collective.
Cool.
But I always have the link in my bio on Instagram. Go straight to the store, but just DM me, you know, if you want to, anybody wants to chat. Yeah, I definitely want to stick with San Diego beers for our little, like, we could call it a turkey trot, a turkey
Oh,
trot.
yeah.
We could call it a little mini turkey trot or a bridge crawl. And I want to
Bridge
stick
crawl. I like that. I like bridge crawl.
bridge crawl.
Yeah.
And I want to stick with just San Diego beer because, you know, that's who I love. So
Yep, definitely.
yeah.
Well, it was so good to see you. I wish we had an hour,
Good to see you.
but you know, stay tuned and yeah, let me know about that hike because that does sound really fun.
I know. I think so too. I'm excited about it. So
Awesome. Well, have a great rest of your day. Thanks for
thank
checking.
you. You too. Nice to see you again, Beth. Thank you for inviting me.
Of course, of course. It was lovely to chat. So have a great rest of your day.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye.
That was Kristine over at the Women's Beer Collective. So yeah, be sure to check out upcoming socially distant events as well as some merch that she's got available on her website and social media. But we're going to keep things going with our fourth and final guest, the folks over at White Labs. I believe we're going to be talking to Jacob, and I think I added the right one. Yep. Hello.
Hey, how you doing?
I'm doing very well. How you doing today?
I'm good. Is it too loud for you? It's we have some people in the tasting room right now,
No.
so
I hear a little echo of my own voice, which is far more annoying than like the very tiny noise in your background.
all right, is that better? I'm trying to turn my phone down.
Oh yeah, no. Great. Well, why don't you just do a quick intro of who you are and where you are?
Yeah, so right now I'm in the White Labs tasting room in Miramar, and my name is Jacob Hoover. I'm the Education Experience Supervisor here at White Labs. So kind of what that means is I play a part in our educative classes and things like that, business development things, and then also I manage the tasting room here in Miramar as well. So kind of involved with, you know, brewing, marketing, sales, the labs, kind of a little bit of everything. So it's fun to be a part of all the roles and get to learn something new in every aspect of the company.
Definitely. Well, I mean, I imagine educational events, of which there were many pre-COVID, I imagine that threw a bit of a wrench in your day-to-day.
Yeah, we haven't really been able to have anything in person ever since the start, since March, but we've kind of turned to, like everyone else, to digital. So we've been releasing on-demand classes that you can purchase and watch from home. That has video content, interactive content, as well as quizzes and things like that. So that's been a big undertaking to try to change all the way we do all of that. And then coming up here, we're actually doing a Zoom online event that's just a fun class, more for less professional based and more just for our customers who want to nerd out on some beer and go over tasting and things like that. So yeah, definitely shifting our methods.
Well, so like, what are some examples of events that people could do virtually? I mean, you said it's, I mean, a tasting, it's educational. Like, what's an example of one that's coming up?
Yes, we have an event coming up October 15th called Challenge Your Taste Buds that we've been working on, and it should be really fun. We're using this app called Sampleox, which I don't know if you've heard of. Some breweries are starting to implement it. I know we were having a plan to launch it in March, which it's very you know, you need to be here, it's hands-on, so that kind of ruined our launch of it. But it's with Lindsay Barr of Draft Labs, and it's very similar to Draft Labs, which is the professional side of the Sensory app. And she kind of made this fun version where the customer can download it to their phone. They will join an event that the brewery is hosting, and then the customer can fill out their appearance, aroma, sensory aspects of the beer in front of them. And it's cool for the brewery because they get customer feedback on how much the customer likes the beer, as well as they're getting, you know, like data they can use to go on to their next batch. And once the customer fills it out, they get this gamified score of how well they matched up with the professional panel of the brewery. So yeah, so we've joined with her, and we're doing an event where you can download the app. We're supplying a can of from our new 4-packs we just released on Saturday. It's a Czech Pilsner and our hazy IPA called Better Haze Ahead, which I like a lot. And you're going to get a 4-pack, so it's the way we do the beer here is we split batch everything. So you're getting the same wort fermented with 2 different yeast strains. And that's how we did the 4-packs as well. You get 2 cans of each. So for this event, we're taking a can from each. So 2 Czech Pilsners with different strains, 2 hazies with different strains, creating a 4-pack of that in a crowler. And then you get to take it home. And we're doing an online fun tasting where me and Eric Fowler, our education manager, will be tasting the beer with them, everyone who wanted to join, and then kind of go over the ingredients and where the flavors are coming from. So,
well, and I love that you guys are doing a hazy IPA for that, because I feel like everybody, you know, they'll use a couple different hops, and that's kind of like the go-to for people. And they're like, oh yeah, like we've got this and that, but like yeast is something that is really like, that's your thing. Like that's a white thing. I don't know anybody else who does side-by-side comparisons like that. So that's a really interesting aspect for people who are like renowned beer judges with like great palates, as well as people who are just like getting started out. So would you say that this class in particular, I mean, it's open to all experience levels, or what?
yeah, definitely. I would say this is welcoming to you know, someone who enjoys drinking beer, but maybe not know as much about styles or ingredients or processes. And we're trying to make it so that we can connect with them, as well as if you're, you know, even if you're a beer judge yourself, you can come in and learn something or just enjoy tasting along. Because I think first time I met you and last time I saw you was at AleSmith for a judging event in February.
Yep.
And I know I'm missing being able to judge. So I'm excited to kind of go through a beer with a group of people and hear everyone's feedback and what they're perceiving in it as well.
Definitely.
So, yeah, caters to everyone. It's just a fun thing, just because we haven't done anything with as far as events in a long time, and we just wanted to get the community together and let people know we're still here.
Well, and so, I mean, exactly right. Like you said, you're still here. It sounds like there's people there. So, you know, it sounds like the tasting room is open. People can come drink on site. Is that right?
So actually, no. People are here. Yeah, we have a customer visit going on, and some of the employees walking around talking and things like that. Tasting room, unfortunately, is smack dab in the middle of our main. We have 3 buildings, but it's our main building, so we get traffic through here all the time. We don't have any bona fide meal aspect currently, so that's kind of what's preventing us from opening up for on-site. We are working on that, though, because I know as of yesterday we're still on that same tier. So we're looking into our options and hoping to have a some type of bona fide meal available starting in the next week or 2. So yeah, everyone listening, be on the lookout for that. Hopefully we can get people drinking on site again. And yeah, I really miss hosting everyone, and it's really sad turning people away daily because we can't serve on site.
Yeah, and I mean, it's one of those places where it's like there might be some beer to go, but like really sitting there and having the aromatic, you know, properties and like tasting together and having like, you go there to have a flight. You go there to have beer tasters. Like it's not a place where you just like have a pint and you leave, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and people always joke about that when they come in. They're like, "Oh, we'd really like to have a tasting. Like, you know, that's what you guys do." And I'm like, yeah, "I know. I wish I could provide you with one. I mean, the only way we can do it really is to give you 2 crowlers. We've discounted them, you know, down to $8 to try to, you know, provide people with the experience. And that's kind of where these 4-packs idea came from, is because we've never canned beer before like this. And we did a release in July for our West Coast Tabor IPA. It's kind of like a flagship beer. And it went really well, and we learned a lot from it, being our first time. So that's kind of where these Pilsners and Hazies came around again. People enjoyed being able to take home that side-by-side comparison, and we've gotten really good feedback from it. So I'm excited for everyone to try these ones as well.
Awesome. Well, real quick, any final thoughts on the event, or where people can keep up with when you can open with a meal option?
Yeah, you know, follow us on social media. We are hoping we'll definitely announce it when we can reopen with a meal option. Like I said, hopefully in the next week or 2. That's our goal. And as far as the event, you can find it on Eventbrite. There's links on our website and on our social media as well. And we are selling 4-packs of the new Better Haze and 10 Plato Pilsner on site here in Miramar. So we're open Wednesday through Saturday. You can find our hours on Google or whatever. And there's a few select retailers that picked up a little bit around town. So you might be able to find it around town as well.
Good to know. Well, thank you so much for checking in with us. We will keep our eyes peeled for when you guys can operate at least some sort of capacity. And good luck. And thanks so much for giving us the insight on that.
Oh, thank you. Thanks, Beth. Take care.
All right, take care. Cheers.
Cheers.
All right, that was White Labs. But unfortunately, that means we are at the end of our time together. But not to worry, we do this every single week, every single Wednesday. Actually, fun fact for the 11 of you who are still watching, thank you so much. You'll be the first to know that next week will be the last week that we are doing this at 3 p.m. We are going to be transitioning it to 4 p.m. Pacific time, starting on the 21st. So I'm sure we'll make a big deal about that so that keep people, don't miss us or whatever. But yeah, we did a little poll and that was a better time. So anyway, in the meantime, I am Beth Demmon. You can find me on Instagram at The Delighted Bite. But if you would like to be on a future episode or just reach out to the Brewers Guild with questions or comments or anything like that, please DM us here on at SD Brewers or info@sdbeer.com. But in the meantime, thank you so much for tuning in. I really appreciated everybody who commented and had questions and things like that. And just remember, Black Lives Matter, drink independent craft beer, make sure you're registered to vote, get out there and vote, wear your masks, practice social distancing, and be cool to one another. Until next week, thanks so much, guys.